Hi, greetings of the day, respected ma'am and my dear friends. I am Parmeshwari and I would like to present on the topic classroom discourses. Classroom discourse is a very interesting and interactive topic. So let us now begin to learn about discourse. What is a discourse? A discourse is a word derived from the Latin word discursus, which means running to and from. And discourse is defined as a mode of spoken or written communication. Now look at the words that I have highlighted here: mode and communication. What is communication? Communication is the transmission or transfer or exchange of ideas and information, and mode is a style of communication. Like, for example, letter writing, essay writing, poster making, writing news articles, etc. It is basically through what are you communicating to your required audience. And the basic features of discourses are description and conversation. Description is nothing but describing an event, an incident, a person, a place, nature, your favorite color, your favorite food recipe, or anything that makes you happy, unhappy, a good incident or a bad incident, anything that you are able to describe in a way that the other person understands it better and can feel it and can be empathetic on it. So that is called description. And in my opinion, description is the mother of all discourses. And if you have mastered in description, then it will be very easy for you to master in the other all discourses. Now, conversation is an important role in building relationship, communicating, and understanding the other person's purview. And these discourses are of two ways: one is oral and the other written. So, now first let us understand the nature of classroom discourse. Classroom discourse is an indispensable element of teaching and learning. Teachers' capability to handle learners' contributions, which will settle the success or failure of a lesson. See here, it is an indispensable element means it is very important in a class for the success of course goal. Both the student and teacher must cooperate each other in reaching out to the course goals. Here the course goals means learning objectives that are expected the student to learn. And teachers and students construct an understanding of their roles, and students must develop the communicative competence. So when both students and teacher develop the routine of cooperation and collaboration, it will be helpful for the class on the whole. Now let us move on to significance of classroom discourse. See, when I'm going through the points here, like it brings out clarity and distinctiveness in the speech, and develops interaction, and teacher can identify the talent of the pupils. Then the learners will be encouraged to think out of the box, and it provides the learners to ask questions, to think beyond the limitations, and then learners can acquaint themselves with the new topics of the interactions, and mostly it builds relationship among the teacher, learners, and the learner on the whole. So basically, significance of classroom means the importance of being attentive towards the classroom discourses and trying to achieve the learning objectives on the whole. And the students develop these certain characteristics or the talents that are very useful to live in today's world. Now let us check what are the oral discourses on the left hand side, and on the right hand side the modes of interaction. So what are the oral discourses? Collaborative learning. We are very well aware of collaborative learning, as we already done in our first semester EPC project, right? We all shared our thoughts, our ideas, and we shared our knowledge, and then all put together as a group we were successful. We could perform group performances like drama and all, right? And interaction discussion, this is very important, this develops that sharing of ideas with the other person and gaining some knowledge out of it, and this also develops speaking skills in the students, and this also develops their analysis towards a topic. So when they sit together and interact and discuss more about the topic, these people develops the curiosity to learn new things they are coming for. And debate interaction, so when a topic given to the students to talk for and against, then always we have positive and negative towards it. So one may say positive and the other may say negative. On the whole it becomes a big discussion, and that is nothing but it's a debate. An interactive session is nothing but you are in a classroom and you are trying to teach to your students some topic, and you are trying to ask them some questions, ask them something, what they know about the topic or anything that relates to the topic, and the students will be replying to you. And all on the whole this situation is called interactive session. And loud reading, why loud reading is important? Loud reading is important for two reasons. One, to develop your speaking skills, your reading skills, and two, also help the listeners to develop their listening skills. On the whole, it also develops the LSRW skills. Storytelling. Storytelling is a very creative manner. When the person tries to tell a story with all the emotions, with all the descriptions, with all the dramatic and the poetic and every type of versions that are needed for that particular narration of the story, and the narrator tells you the story in a way that you would be admired to listen to the story again and again. So that is also the art of storytelling, and this is also very important for the students to develop for gaining the describing skills. Then role play interaction, this also helps in building up relationship with the other students or with the other peer group. When you come together as a group and to do some activity, you generally tend to develop that caring and sharing. So this also develops in the students. And many other ways of oral discourses. And here, modes of interaction. See here, what are the modes of interaction in the classroom? Like student and teacher, teacher and two students, student and student interactions, small peer group, like when you start putting a quiz competition and then you divide the number of benches or number of students into small groups, right? So that small pair groups, and then you probe some questions to them, they will be answering, right? And then teacher and all classroom students and all the students of the classrooms interact together, maybe for making a surprise birthday party of a co-student, right? Now let us come to written discourses. What is the meaning of written discourse? It is the transfer of information that requires the words to be written down. So in the last slide we have read about, or we have understood about, oral discourses and the modes of oral discourses. Now here the discourse, it is in the written format. Now you are trying to communicate to your audience or to the required person in a written format. So how it is improved? How you can improve your written discourse skills? See, you need to have a relevant content, and you need to have a good structure of the information. Like it comes like, introduction, body, introduction, explanation, and then conclusion. For anything you need, these three are very important. Now using linking words, like this also falls under the introduction, explanation, and communication. Now mix it up with a range of sentence types and with correct punctuation. Adopt appropriate tone and accurate vocabulary. So the tone you are using to write particular written discourse, it should also match to the information that you are going to communicate. And vocabulary should also be very understandable according to your audience. Suppose your audience are below 8th class students, then you are going to use a minimal vocabulary where all the students can understand. For example, if your audience are some university level people, then your vocabulary should be according to them. So you need to adjust your vocabulary or the choosing of the words according to your audience. Then present a logical sequence of ideas. Now you have everything. Now you need to present it in a proper way, so that it is communicated properly and your audience can understand it better. Now types of written discourses. While every act of communication can count as an example of discourse, some scholars have broken down it into 4 primary types. One is argumentative, narrative, descriptive, and expository. The other scholars have divided these types into 3 categories. One is expressive, poetic, and transactional. Now let me explain you in a very brief way about the types and the categories. First, argumentative. See, it is a form of communication meant to convince an audience that the writer or the speaker is correct, basically using evidence and reason. And the narrative, it is a form of communication, tells a story, often with an emotion and a empathy involved in it. And the description, it is a form of communication that relies on the 5 senses to help the audience visualize something. As I already said, the describing skills. And exposition, it is used to inform the audience of something with relatively neutral language. That is, it is not meant to persuade or evoke someone. Now the 3 categories, like expressive. Expressive means expressing discourse, comprises those acts of literary writing that is creative but not fiction, non-fiction. This could include memoirs, letters, and online blogs. And the poetic discourse comprises of creative, functional writing, etc. Poetic includes like novels, poems, dramas. These type of work often prioritize emotion, imagery, theme, and character development, right? And the transactional, transactional is used to propel something into an action, such as advertising, motivating a customer to buy something, or to show how to use it in a how to use a particular product by a manual. So all these are the types of written discourses. Now let us come to some examples of written discourse. We when we do a Google search, we can come a big list of written discourses, but I would like to present few of them. Like we are all aware of essay writing. diary entry, newspaper articles, report writing, portfolio writing, thesis statements, letter writing, chat messages, blog writing, and many more. So essay writing is nothing but you are selecting a topic, maybe it could be anything, current affairs or any other topic, and then you would be helping the audience to understand it in introductory, explanatory, and the conclusion way of paragraphs. And the diary entry is your self, about yourself, what you have felt on that particular day, what you have achieved, or why you have failed to achieve something, or any happy moment, any sad moment. So it is basically your own notes where you explain your feelings to the diary. And newspaper articles, we know, we are already aware of newspaper, all the articles how they are presented. And then report writing could be anything, whether it could be a diagnosis report, whether it could be a student's academic performance, or it could be a weather report, or anything in general. And portfolio writing is also could be anything. Portfolio is nothing but it is a record which describes about yourself, your achievements, your qualities, your failures, and everything that describes about a student, or investments, or anything. And these statements, again, this includes the research data. A lot of research people do, especially the PhDs. They present their thesis on something they have researched. And letter writing, we are all very well aware, but nowadays we don't write physical letters, but we write emails, right? Electronic mails. So both are one and the same. The only thing is paper matters. And chat messages are our favorite. Without messaging, without chatting on WhatsApp, our day doesn't start or end, right? And blog writing, when we visit few blogs, they write, like, about a particular topic, about their company, about their testimonials and everything. And many more. And you find out many more written discourses than the oral discourses. So you can google it up, and then you will find. Now, see, moving on to these pictures, these are the pictures of my lesson plan, how I would be teaching an essay writing to my students. It is only to give an example to you guys. So now look at this. We are already aware of micro teaching lesson plan, right? Preliminaries is of your information, like your basic information. And then academic standards. Academic standards here about the essay writing, what would be the student learn out of it. So the student will be able to explain the basic structure of a 5-paragraph essay. What are these 5-paragraph essay? I will be explaining it to you in the later slides. And then how to plan and outline a 5-paragraph essay. And the focusing activity will be explanation and questioning. And the instructional procedure is teacher will be addressing the students with a greeting, and then teacher interacts with the learners and includes the whole class in to be interactive. And the teacher will pose some questions to the students. Teacher will ask students to put all their ideas and points onto the paper and try to make it a good paragraph. Finally, the teacher declares the topic. And the closure will be like, after interacting with the students about the topic and getting the inputs from the students, what do they do, what do they feel, how do they feel, and everything, then finally declaring the topic. And so here I have used the latest situation that's going on, the coronavirus pandemic. I will be asking my students to give inputs about the same topic. and the instructional material needed is writing paper and pencils and blackboard and chalk for me to explain it to them. Now moving to next slide. Now this is the format 2. Earlier slide we checked about format 1 and this is the format 2. So here also the preliminaries are the same. They are the basic information about you and the concept to teach. So I have chosen essay writing as the concept now. So and here the skills to demonstrate are introducing to write essay writing. So students think in a divergent way for any topic. So for a particular topic or a particular product, all the students won't give the same information, right? So one will tell one thing and the other will tell the other thing. So finally you will be getting different ideas, different information and everything, and you get lot of information. Now students emerge with new vocabulary words. So in a class there are students who use very good vocabulary, so you can also help the other students to learn the vocabulary the other students don't know, so that it will be an encouragement for them and also boosting to the students who are good at vocabulary. And students would put their ideas in an appropriate way of description in written, and students can explain the basic structure of a 5-paragraph essay, and students can plan to present information in a essay format. So here my interaction with the students. Here again this focusing activity will be like explanation and questioning. Now in teachers interactions, now as soon as we get into the classroom we greet them and then students will greet you back. So teacher asks simple questions like what is COVID-19 and why should we maintain social distance, and impact on education, impact on economy, and how can we recover after lockdown. And not only these, it could be any question or any topic you want to use to introduce essay writing. Not only essay writing, whether it could be any written discourse that you want to introduce in that particular class. So you can use all relevant questions relating to the topic. Now teacher encourages the students to give answers. Teacher asks the students to collect all the information in a book and asks to put in a proper format. And these are all in the blackboard work. You can see these are all the words that we can use to write on the board for the students to read and question back or answer back or anything. Now coming to the next slide, declaration of the topic. Now teacher declares the topic. So what we will learn today is essay writing. So interaction with student. Now teacher gets into the topic by explaining the steps of essay writing. Now that the students are aware of plenty of information about the COVID-19, so now all the students have jotted down their points that they by themselves known points, or the other students have shared their points, right? So all those points students might have written down. Now teacher writes on the board the steps of writing. So the steps of writing essay will be introduction, body, and conclusion. We know introduction is introducing the topic, body is the explanation part, and conclusion is nothing but how you are concluding the particular topic. The conclusion should always be in a appropriate way. And the thesis statement is nothing but it includes all of your three, like introduction, body, and conclusion. Like it includes the research. basically with evidence and proofs. Like if we Google search about COVID-19, we get many information or many PDFs, many theses and everything, right? They all are relevant data, and we can trust them. They are not like anyone randomly said anything. They are all the relevant and trusted data. So that information and thesis statement is all of your research part, and then topic sentence, and then like conveying your information in a particular format where it is easy to understand, relevant from one sentence to the other sentence. Like it should not be like one sentence you have written Rima is wearing a blue color dress, and then in another sentence you will write Rima has fallen down. No, it should be a proper connection between first sentence and the other sentence. Now teacher asks some questions during the explanation of the essay writing, like what is the purpose of introduction part, and what can come in the explanation part or the body. Why should we have closing paragraph? and and your students will be giving you the answers. Now if all the information is correct, she will appreciate the student, and if the information is not correct, or if the information is deviating from the topic, then she will be editing the relevant data by expressing important ideas. And declaration. Now teacher declares all the subtopics. Teacher explains all the subtopics of the essay writing, like why it is important, like why the introduction, explanation, conclusion, these parts are important. Now closure. Teacher explains the topic of essay writing by interacting with students on the current affairs situation. Also gives the detailed explanation of all the steps of essay writing, like audio visual and audio visual material and equipment needed are nothing but your simple blackboard and chalk, and then writing paper and pens. Now role of a teacher. Now that we have heard a lot of information about discourse, about types of discourse, modes of discourse, and everything, and also the explanation of a written discourse, right? Now, what is the role of a teacher in explaining all these discourses? See, teacher plays a very important role in the life of a student in the classroom. So, teachers are best known for the role of educating the students that are placed in their care. Beyond that, teachers serve many other roles in the classroom. Teachers set the tone of their classrooms, build a warm environment, mentor or nurture students, become role models, and listen and look for signs of trouble. See, teacher always be a role model for the students. So the positive or the negative, whatever the child becomes, it is part of the teacher's attention towards the child. Now on your right side you can see the other roles of the student, the teacher towards her students. So hope we all gain these qualities. And praise your students' efforts. Yes, it is very important that you praise your student efforts. If they are coming out of the way and expressing something, no matter even if it is a silly thing, praise it, praise them. It is a kind of encouragement to them, and then they feel boosting to work for future, right? So the teacher need to recognize the value of students' efforts as much as possible. A little praise can inspire them a lot in their future prospects. And finally, we come to the conclusion part. So, usefulness of the classroom interaction. Interaction is a two-way street, right? Clarity is achieved through regular participation between both the teachers and the students. So, learners gain confidence and assurance to present themselves in front of many. Both teacher and learner are equally benefited through equal participation. And my opinion on the topic is, see, from the discussion we can conclude that the quality of student learning is closely associated with the quality of classroom discourse. So in my opinion, to achieve this goal of language learning, we ought to improve our self-teaching skills. If we can improve the quality of classroom discourse, we can certainly raise the quality of student learning. So, hope you all understood and liked my presentation. Thank you and have a great going ahead.